Good morning everyone, welcome back to Pallegney and welcome back to the second day in January. As some of you might have noticed, it's still the second day, it's the same day as the last episode ended. I now have precision farming installed, which also means that I need to be wary of the soil types on my farm. As you can see with the fields that I own, it is a bunch of everything together. So I've got pieces of loamy sand, sandy loam, and silty clay all mixed together. Fields 10, 9 and 7 down here are really clayey, really a lot of silty clay, as well as field 31 actually, and field 47 has a bit of it as well. 47 has everything in it, to be honest. And then here down the river, the grass fields are a bit more loamy sand and sandy loam. But that's not the only thing I have to look at. pH is actually rather good in all the fields, okay to good, so I don't have to do anything with that yet this year. This is a different story though. There isn't much nitrogen on the field, so the grass fields have a bit. Field 47 is actually really good, so that's fine. The other fields all need something. At the moment there's good weather, the ground has been frozen over, it's cold, and if you start to look at the weather forecast, good weather, January day 3 good weather, and then it is all terrible weather. So February we've got February 1st we've got snow, then the second day is a twister warning, and then from the third day of February until March it's raining, and I hope that does end in March. Otherwise I might have some problems with the planting windows for some of the crops. Spinach is March till May, which I actually want to be planted in March, so you have 2 harvest seasons or 2 harvest periods. If I plant that in May, I might only get 1 harvest off of it, which would be devastating. I have a new bucket on the GCB, which is one of the new things that I have, and I'm going to quickly run you guys through it before I start the time lapse of spreading the slurry. Because the other thing is right over here in the chicken shed. It is an Avant wheel loader, but it is a slightly different one to the one that I had on demo. This one is a bit smaller. It's the 420, as you can see. So it's the Avant 420, and it's a model smaller than the other one, but it's also half the price. And it can do what I need it to do. And then over here in my shed is something else. I bought the Avant, and then over here is the Kuhn feed mixer. Now this one, the Kuhn Profiline, this is a long-term lease, so it is an operational lease, which means that I pay for it every day that I have it on the farm and for every hour that I use it. And the rough calculation says that it will cost me around 20k a year, and I'll keep it for 2 years, which will add up to 40k, which is the same price as when I would purchase it, and it's a bit more expensive than purchasing it and then selling it. But this way the costs are spread out way more, which is actually an advantage with a piece of equipment like this, which you're not using that much. So technically it would have been cheaper to buy it, but I would not really have been able to afford it. It was 40 and a bit thousand, so yes, I could have afforded it, but it would hinder my cash flow quite significantly. I am gonna start working on this one, getting it all filled up, and I'll probably take you guys along on the time lapse. So yeah, it's the Huawei manure spreader that was on my farm last year as well, but this time I just leased it, and I'm leasing it for like 500 an hour instead of the couple of thousand that would normally cost me. So this is actually cheaper to just rent the equipment from the contractor. And the thing is, like, operational lease is something that the dealerships here do, but they don't have like a fleet of equipment that you can lease for a couple of hours a day. So that's why I have to lease it from the contractor if I want to do that. And even they only do it with like the smaller, cheaper pieces of equipment, so this or the cultivator or the plow. And like the big harvesting equipment or the spreaders, the very specific, very technical equipment, they're not actually leasing out, and you just have to get them over to do the job. So yeah, well, I'm gonna start loading it up, probably spreading the first load, and then I'll start the time lapse, and I'll talk to you guys when I'm done. Hold me close till I get up.
Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon, turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and
welcome back, guys. I hope you all enjoyed that little time lapse. Now, I end up not actually recording the loading parts because it's really janky and the camera moves around a lot, which just mostly gives you a headache when you're watching it as a time lapse. So I kept those out. I'm spreading roughly 7 tons of manure to the acre, which comes down to around 50 kilos of nitrogen. And the reason for that is because I'm not quite sure how much nitrogen every crop needs. And as long as I don't know that, I can't put too much on. And there's too much nitrogen, it actually hurts the crop when growing instead of helping it. I'm now just topping up the manure spreader again. And then I'm going over to one more field, the very long field, which I'm also going to do with this, or at least partially do. I'm not gonna put that on camera. I think you guys have seen enough manure spreading for, well, probably for the year, as I've done it this time last year as well. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. It's the next day, as you can see, and I am heading up to the shop to actually pick up a demo machine. I'm actually going to be demoing a second cultivator. So I demoed the Lemken late last year, and now I'm going to be demoing a Porsche. And meanwhile, whilst I'm demoing that, the mechanics are actually going to check over my tractor and do all the yearly maintenance, because that still needs to happen, and I do need this one to function. I am still planning on changing it for something a bit smaller and a bit more maneuverable, but at the moment I don't have the cash flow for it, as I still need a lot of other things to invest in as well. This is it. So it's 4 rows. It's actually not a solid tooth, but as you can see with the winding of the metal around the main frame, the metal of the teeth around the main frame. It helps the teeth to vibrate a bit in the ground, which helps to break up the ground and level it out whilst cultivating. And this is apparently an option that can also seed. Now I'm not going to be seeding with it, but it can also be used to seed like grass and cover crops that does need to be seeded accurately and can just drop out and it'll grow either way. And then it also has a roller on the back to level it out and some teeth to open up like the top layer and leave it nice and level. So I'm really interested to see what this will be doing, and as always they have a class action in front of it, an 870 with wheel weights and white tires, which I get to play with for the day, so that's always nice. Meanwhile, over on the long field, the old John Deere is also working with the disc to get a level seat bed, because as I said, the weather is going to be turning really bad really soon, and I do want all the fields to be ready to be sown, as I think I might actually run into some trouble getting everything into the ground. Now something else, whilst I'm recording this, FarmCon is happening over in Austria, and they have announced the first year expansion, and if you've kept up to date, you will know that that includes onions, which is a crop that I am super hyped for. So for some context, I'm from the Netherlands. The main crops grown here are potatoes and onions. That's like the main crops you get to deal with, and I've done a lot of onion harvesting in my time, and I really want to do onions. So I've always complained that it wasn't like in the base game, and now that it's coming back, I'm actually gonna be doing it. So this farm will be focusing on onions and potatoes exclusively. Those will be the main cash crops. The problem you face with onions is that it is a 1 in 8 crop, so you're only able to grow onions once every 8 years on the same piece of land, where potatoes is a 1 in 4 grow. So that's something I need to consider. And the main reason I'm also going to do potatoes and onions is because it looks like, and I hope that's the way they're going to do it, that you can use the potato harvester with a different intake on the front for the onions as well, and that way I hope you have like one harvester that you can customize for both of the crops. I'm going to be throwing this one into a bit of a cinematic, and I'll get back to you once I've finished all the cultivating, so enjoy the cinematic.
It's hotter than a blacktop in July, sweating like a sinner in a church, and I just wanna get out with my crew tonight and shoot at the lights. Got a couple 40s full of hops and fun, looking for a good time, gotta live it up. Leave behind the city, hop inside my truck. No, we don't give up. We're gonna paint the night red, hoot and holler till we're dead. We're down to turn up, we're up to get down, saying hey y'all, howdy, let's get rowdy tonight. Hey, looks wild, but you know we're right at home. The louder the better, cause with us anything goes. Life of the party, we're the feature of the show. You already know. We're gonna paint the night red, hoot and holler till we're dead. We're down to turn up, we're up to get down, saying hey y'all, howdy, let's get rowdy tonight.
So I hope you enjoyed that little cinematic of me doing the cultivating. As you saw, I was actually skipping a row every time because of the GPS. You can easily do that, so I did one row, skip one, do the next, just to make the steering easier. And I have to say, I'm really impressed with the steering on the class. It's so much tighter than I anticipated for such a big tractor. I do really like this setup as well. As I said, I'm not seeding with it at the moment, but the way it's cultivating and the way it's leaving the field, as you can see, is really good. It's level, it's well mixed, much more so than with the Lemken, I feel like. looking at this, it's level, it's well mixed up, the crop residue is well mixed up into the soil, with the teeth and the roller, it actually is quite compacted as well, so that this would be a good seed bed, especially for seeding like specific crops, grains, spinach, peas, those kind of crops. But yeah, I'm really impressed with how it looks and how it leaves the soil and the texture in it. So yeah, that's I'm actually quite impressed with this machine and this whole setup. I'm gonna be finishing off the cultivating, and I'll see you probably back at the yard. Or I think actually back at the dealership when I'm picking up the John Deere. I'm just back at the dealership looking at this pretty beastie John Deere. I still do really like the look of it. I mean, it's a beast of a tractor. And I was just talking to the mechanics, and that is what they said right down there at the bottom. Repairs cost 11,000 euros. They also quoted me what it would cost to repaint, but I'm not repainting the tractor anyway. I prefer this look. Which means that I needed the button. So yeah, that's 11,000 euros down the drain. And here it is in all of its glory, my new combine. Obviously it isn't a brand new one, it's an older class Lexion. And that's quite a few hours on it, a couple of years of work, but it's looking really good still. Paint is in good condition, they checked all the engine components before they shipped it here. I didn't have it repainted, so like the intake, well, you can see here that it's the grain intake is worn, the adapter plate is worn. They didn't actually have a header with it, apparently that got damaged beyond repair by the previous owner, so I do still have to invest in that, but that's something for a later date, as I don't need that at the moment, obviously. But yeah, this is my new combine, and one I'm really happy with, because I really do enjoy combining, and I kinda was slightly disappointed that I didn't have one for myself. I am really happy with this, because I finally got my own combine again. But with that delivery done, and it already getting a bit later in the day, I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.